Hello, my name is Arun Roy, and virtually we have built up all the concepts essential to come to the final picture of an atom. When I am saying picture, it's not something that you can see, a picture which can mathematically be derived. So if you have not seen the last video, please do that before you come to this. In the last video, very clearly we said we exactly do not know the happenings of the electron inside the atom. We are making a probability function. And again we said that the expressions of probability function do not have same meaning here what they have in algebraic physics. Like in spin, algebra means moving like this. Here spin is just an expression given to a mathematical expression. In last class we had also talked about the one of the important contributions of four principal quantum numbers is no electron, rather no two electrons will have the same set of four principal quantum numbers, or every single electron is in that way unique. That is called Pauli's exclusion principle. So what I said has been given name Pauli's exclusion. Exclusive. Every electron is exclusive. In what way? It will have a unique value of all the four values of quantum number taken together. I mean, for example, if I say there is a electron whose n value is 3, if n value is 3, L value will be something between 0 and 2, if you recall that. Suppose L value is 1, then ML value will be between -1, 0 and +1. Suppose ML value is 0, then spin value will be either +half or -half. Suppose it is -half. Now what I am saying that only one electron will correspond to this set of four principal quantum numbers. That will be a unique electron. Fine? Okay. So we know, and in other words, we talked about shells and subshells and orbitals. Now we shall talk about what is the preference of the electrons filling up those orbitals. Okay. So for that we use a principle called Aufbau's principle. Which is a very beautiful and a very simple mathematical statement. And the mathematical statement is every electron has some principal quantum number value. Answer is yes, n. Then it also has angular momentum quantum number value. Answer is yes. He said n plus L value decides the order of filling the subshells. N plus n value decides the order of filling the subshell. And how does it decide? Number one, lower the n plus n value, higher the preference for the electron to go into that subshell. So the subshell which has got lower value of n plus L gets filled first. Simple. Then he said it is possible that two subshells may have same value of n plus L value. Okay, it is possible. For example, 3D, 3P, and 4S. Just arbitrarily I have taken three subshells: 3P, 3D, 3P, 4S. Let's find the n plus L values for both. Okay, n plus L values for both. N is obviously 3 for this, and what will be L value for D? Do you recall that? 0 corresponds to S, 1 corresponds to P, 2 corresponds to D, and 3 corresponds to F. 4 for G. Normally we G do not have at this level. So D corresponds to 2. So D value will be 2. It is 5. So for 3D, n plus L value is 5. For 3P, again n is 3, P will be 1. So 3 plus 1 will be 4. And for 4S, n is 4 and S is 0. So it is 4. So we have done two things. Number one, I have shown you how to find the n plus L value. And then I am saying lower the n plus n value, higher will be the preference for electron. So let us take the same example. Where will the electrons go first if they have option between 3D, 3P and 4S? If they have option, lower value is 3P and 4S. So first they will go to either 3P or 4s, and then only they will go to 3d. This will be the order of preference. So first they prefer to go to either 3p or 4s because both of them same n plus n value. So one thing is sure, 4s will get filled before 3d because 4s has a lower n plus l value as compared to 3d, lower n plus l value. Second, out of 3p and 4s, 3p also has n plus l value 4 and 4s also has n plus l value 4. Then which one will get preferred? So the answer was, so this is what we are trying to discuss. The second rule is, if n plus n value is same, if then lower the n value, higher the preference. So if n plus n value is same, then lower the n value. So it's simple now, because both of them have same n plus n value, but here n value is lower here 3. So 3p will be preferred over 4s. So first 3p will be filled, then 4s will be filled, then 3d will be filled. This is all about offer principle of preference of filling these options. Okay. So this is mathematically correct and it should be done like that. However, for the sake of the students' convenience, you must have seen in your book an angular chart is made. That is, we write all the subsheds here. The first shell will have 1s, second will have 2s and 2p, third one will have 3s, 3p, 3d, fourth one will have 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, etc. Fifth one 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, etc. Somebody can say, why not 5g? You just know you will get the answer. So what is the order of filling? It's called angular cutting. That is, we start from the tail and we go to the head. I repeat, we start from the tail and we go to the head. So in the path what comes? 1s. First 1s will be filled. Similarly, we draw parallel lines. Going from the, this is given in all the books, so I will not waste much time on it, you must have seen. So in short, first of all 1s will be filled, again start from the tail, then 2s will be filled, then 2p, then 3s, then 3p, mind you, after 3p 4s is being filled, and then 3d, after 3d 4p, after 4p does not go to 4d, after 4 it's coming to 5s, then 4d, then 5p, then 6s, etc. This is the order of the filling. So I can leave it as a question. Why do electrons in 5? Why don't we talk about 5g electrons? This I am leaving it as a question. Hint I am giving you, for 5g to filled up, before 5g, something here, some s must have been filled up. Ask how many electrons do you require to get this one filled up, and you will get the answer. Why so far in the known elements, 102 elements, we still do not have anything like 5g. And then I am leaving it as exercise. But it is not that 5g is not possible. We do not have atoms known to us where where there are so many protons that there are so many electrons that we need to come till 5g. That's a hint. Or better way of question will be, what will be the atomic number of the atom which will have 5g electrons? Find it out. But so I'm talking about the order of filling. The offer gives you the order of filling. More or less we have come to a result. Except just one law we need to know, that is called Hund's rule of multiplicity. About Hund's law we shall come slightly later on. First of all, let us concentrate on offer. Suppose we have an atom whose atomic number is 21. Now, virtually we have come to the final conclusion. We can virtually know how will the electrons be configured inside the atom. So, atomic number, one thing is sure, that there will be 21 protons 21 protons. About that, there is no doubt. Right now, I do not know how many neutrons are there in this atom. Right now, for knowing that, what will we have to know? We should also know the mass number. So at the moment, I do not want to go to that. So suppose I do not know how many number of neutrons are there. That will not prevent me from finding out the structure of the electrons. So there are 21 protons. There are certain neutrons also. So there will be 21 electrons also, obviously. Where will they be found out? This is what is the purpose of this class. So out of 21, if you apply the offer principle, first they will go to 1s. Now question is, what is the capacity of S? All of you know, 2 is the capacity of S. So 2 electrons will go to 1s. Then if you recall the offer principle, etc. First 1s will be filled up, then 2s will be filled up. How many can go in S? Only 2. After 2s, 2p gets filled up. How many can go in P? All of us know 6. After 2p, 3s gets filled up. How many can go in S? Obviously 2. Then after 3s which gets filled up, 3p. How many will go in P? Before saying, just check whether we have all 21 or not. So 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 6, 10, 10 plus 2, 12. So 12 we have got filled up, still we have 9 electrons. Out of 9, 6 will go in 3p. After 3p, 4s will be filled up. Out of 9, 6 are filled up, 3 are remaining, so 2 still will go here. After 4s, 3d will get filled up. In 3d, how many are there? Only 1 is there. So this is called the configuration of the electrons inside the atom. And for this, we do not need to know about Coulomb rule. It is not that we can always do without it. So I said sometime later on. So this is what we have talked about electronic configuration till offer principle. Now the question is, suppose we had the atomic number 26. So how many electrons? 26. So how many will go in D? 6 will go in D. Now let us concentrate on 3D. What was the magnetic moment quantum number for D? Do you recall that? For 3D, D means L is equal to 2. Do you remember that? Angular momentum quantum number for D will be 2. So what will be magnetic moment quantum number? It will be -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. So virtually I am repeating what we had done in the last class. Then we had said that L represents D, which can actually contain 10 electrons, and there are 5 subsets, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means 2 electrons will be here, 2 will be here, 2 will be here, 2 will be here, and 2 will be here. This is shown by, this classification is shown by groups here. The first one can be called, not called, it represents -2, this part will represent -1, which value? ML value. This will represent 0, this will represent +1, this will represent +2. So the box represents subshell, and the individual squares or these parts are called, actually they are called boxes, they are called orbitals, and this represents the subshell. So 3d6 means what? The electrons belong to third shell, then they belong to D. So this thing is representative of the entire thing. D will have 5 blocks. Each block represents magnetic moment quantum number, -2, -1. This we had done in the last class. Now we are talking about how will 6 electrons go into it. In simple English, how will 6 electrons get distributed among the boxes? They are called boxes. So somebody will say 6, 2 will go there, 2 will go there, 2 will go there. That's all. Quite possible. Some people can say that 2 will go there and remaining 4 will occupy this. Somebody can say that. There are many mathematical combinational permutations. Yes or no? But in science, all of them are not possible. All of them are different. Here we are saying two are there. In 5 planes, 3 planes contain 2 each and 2 planes contain nothing. This is not same as first plane contains 6 or 2, other contain 1. The properties will become different. They have to have a unique combination. So that uniqueness was talked about, the rule what is called Hund's multiplicity rule, which says electrons do not couple up unless and until all the orbitals are singularly filled. Or conversely, only when all the orbitals are filled by single electrons, they get coupled up. Which means, how will the 6 electrons fill the d subshell? The d subshell is like this, which contains 5 blocks, block diagram, 5 blocks. 6, 1 will come here. Because it is open, second one will come here. Because it is free, third one will come here. Free, fourth one will come here. Fifth free one will come here. So only when till all the free blocks are individually filled, then the coupling starts. So coupling will start from here, from the minimum value of ml. I repeat, from the minimum value of ml. Coupling starts with the minimum value of ml. So if this was -2, 6 electron will not go here, will not go here. It will prefer the minimum value. Suppose there was 27, then it will be 7. 7th one will go to next higher value, here, not here. This is all about Hund's rule of multiplicity. That is, till all the blocks or all the planes are individually filled up, electrons do not start coupling. And coupling also is preferred starting from the minimum value of ml. Okay. Thank you. So we just saw what is the preference of electrons filling the orbitals and how do they get configured. We had taken the last example when the atomic number is 27. How will the electrons will get filled up? And we had seen that 27 will break up in 5 in this order. This is 25. So 26 will go to the minimum. Next higher, 27 will go here. So that theoretically completes the discussion. I would like to add 2 more discussions which may be of some use to you. Number 1, we saw that as per Offer principle that electrons prefer lower values of n plus l, and if n plus l is same, lower value of n. So the example that we had taken, that after 3p, 4s gets filled up, then 3d gets filled up. This is the order: 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, then 4s, and then 3d gets filled up. Through mathematical treatment, of course, this is the order. But to some students' mind, genuinely there is a confusion that 4s, will the energy of 4s be lower than energy of 3d? And this question is genuine. Why it is genuine? Because order of filling the orbitals is lower than energy. The lower energy gets filled up earlier, then higher energy, which obeys the laws of physics. Here, nonetheless, what we are finding, that because 4s gets filled earlier than 3d, so logically it should mean that energy of 4s must be lower than 3d. Can we say that? And many reasons why we cannot say that. Reason number 1. The energy of an electron is only governed by the principal quantum number that we have seen earlier, and you will see also many a time. Even in the Bohr's model, the energy was purely a function of number of the shell, even in quantum number. So obviously energy of 4th shell has to be higher than energy of the 3rd shell. So there seems to be an apparent contradiction. Okay. I will give you another reason for having a contradiction. Suppose we talk about iron. Atomic number of iron is 26. As we discussed earlier, after 3p6, which is till 18, if the atomic number is 18, like argon, it will be 3p6, 18. Then will be 4s2, which will be 20. And then we have 3d6, which will be after 4s, 3d. This is the structure of iron. First 4s2 will be filled up, 4s, and then 3d. When you give energy to iron, which is called exciting the iron, if you heat iron, it will lose some electrons. The point is, if the energy of 3d were higher, then the 2 electrons coming out of iron should have been from here. 6 must have become 4. And by this logic, yes, because 3d got filled later, energy of 3d was higher. So electrons are always lost. Electrons are always lost from that subshell whose energy is higher, from that orbit whose energy is higher. So because according to this 3d has a higher energy, 2 electrons of iron should have been lost from here. The structure of iron plus plus should have been this. Actually, structure of iron plus plus is 3p6. The 2 electrons actually are lost from here. These 2 are lost. So structure of iron plus is 3p6 and 3d6 remains. How do we explain this? This also proves that energy of 4s is higher than energy of 3d. This also proves. When we excite the iron atom, when we give energy, the electrons come out of 4s, which means energy of 4s must be higher than energy of 3. So one by experiment and one by law. Experimentally, we see that iron and many other cases, which has the atoms which have 3d and 4s both on excitement, these electrons are lost from iron, manganese, nickel, zinc, all of them. So this proves that energy of 4s is higher than 3d, and by the principal quantum number also, energy depends on the principal quantum number. The energy of 4s must be higher than 3d. But this says energy of 3d is lower. How do we solve that problem? So I thought I should discuss that. So what I am saying is now this, please be careful. Nowhere does Ofo say, the one who told us the pattern of filling, he does not say that the preference of filling the electrons depends only on the energy level. He said that N plus L value decides the filling of the subshells. He does not talk about it. And further, if you have understood so far the discussions of atomic structure, what does shell talk about? What does principal quantum number talk about? It talks about the probability of finding the electron. So where will the electron have highest probability of being found? The answer is electron will always prefer to be in that region which is closer to the nucleus. So the probability, so electron will be at which position? Simple. That has got no exceptions. It will prefer to be near the position near the nucleus. Or in mathematical jargon, electron will prefer to be where it has highest probability of being near the nucleus. This factor, this concept decides the filling of the orbitals, not the energy. Be very clear about the energy level. The principal quantum number does not decide the preference of filling the orbital. Principal quantum number only decides the absolute energy value. So as per principal quantum number, energy of 4s has to be higher than 3d. So this is fact. Proven by the fact, loss or gain of electrons always take place from or to the electron of highest energy. Either loss or gain will be from 4s, not from 3d. So both of them facts that energy of 4s will be higher than 3d. So the $1 million question is, if energy is 4s is higher, the electron should go to 4s later. Why is it going to 3d first? I'm sorry, I repeat. If the energy of 4s is higher, the electron should have gone there later. It should have gone to 3d first because energy is lower. Why is it going to 4s? So mind my words, the preference of filling the subshell is not always governed by the energy level. It is governed by the highest probability level, where the probability will be higher. Now, look at Sommerfeld. What did he say? He did not say that all the electrons essentially move in a circular path. Do you recall that? Actually, one principal quantum number does not say. The principal quantum number says that if, for sake of discussion, I represent this as the third shell and I represent this as the fourth shell, so all the 18 electrons of this will be between here and here, somewhere between this region. And all the 32 electrons will be somewhere in this region. That's all. Actually, as you must have read in the book, the probability of finding the s orbitals is spherical. That is, the electrons moving in the s subshell are nearly moving on a spherical path. But P and D and F have deformed shapes, deformed spherical shapes. If you have seen the probability graph of P orbital, it is like this. Mind you, it does not say that electrons move like this, for God's sake. It does not give you the actual path of the P orbital. It does not say they are moving like this. It is the probability curve. This is R, radial position of the electron from the nucleus, and the y-axis is probability of finding the electron at the position R, which means probability of finding the electron at the nucleus is 0. Electron does not go in the nucleus and come out. So it's a purely mathematical function for P orbital. From this graph, you have to develop some kind of a mental picture how the electrons could actually be moving. This graph does not tell you how the electrons are moving. This graph is all about probability of finding the electron at a position R. So this graph tells you that if suppose this is the nucleus, no electron will be found at the nucleus, and then no electron will be found at this position and beyond that, and somewhere in this position maximum probability, somewhere in between maximum probability. Something like we can say electron could be moving like this. We can say that. So near the nucleus they will not be there. Not many of them will be found near the nucleus. Probability is low. So very low probability of found very near the nucleus. Very low probability of being found very further away from the nucleus. So between this distance and this distance, they will be found at highest probability. Maybe something like they are moving like this. We can say that. So we exactly do not know what is their path, but one thing is sure, it will be a deformed path of the spherical. D will be further deformed. This is important. So first we have shown the third and fourth shells. Now in third shell, there are 3 subshells, 3s, 3p and 3d. So how would 3 electrons probably look like? So very simple, they are spherical. So all the 3s electrons will be probably moving like this, probably. 3p will be deformed. So deformed means something they will be like this, 3p. And d will be further deformed. This is important. So d will be deformed. So because of deformity, they will go something like this. So if I can show 3p will be like this. I'm sorry, 3s. 3p may be like this, but 3d will be like this. Now let's concentrate on 4s. Exactly by the same logic. 4 also has got 4 subsets S, P, D, F. So 4S, if it is moving on a circular path, then what do you see? This is 3D and this is 4S. So this is 3D. 4S will be something like this. This will be like this. This will be 4S. Nucleus is here. What do you see? What do you see? If the electron is in 4S, probably it will be moving like this. But if it is in 3D, it is probably moving like this. 4S electrons have got higher probability of being closer to the nucleus as compared to 3D. 3D will be away. Electrons prefer to be in that subshell so that they are closer to the nucleus. So even this discussion tells you that 4S electrons, they have higher probability of being near the nucleus, 3D are away. Now here there is a doubt that 3D electrons are not fixed here. Actually they are moving like this. They are not always here. So there is a chance they will come closer to the nucleus also. So I am asking myself a question to try to contradict. Maybe what I am saying is not right. Earlier what did I say? Because of the spherical nature of 4S and deformed nature of 3D, 4S becomes closer than 3D. But there is a mistake in this logic. What is the mistake? That 3D are not stationed here. They are moving like this. Means for some time they are here, but then for some time they are here also, which is closer to 4, which is closer than 4S. So how do you explain that? Then you have to understand that 4S electron being spherical in nature, probably their motion will be with almost like a uniform speed, 4S, because they are moving on a circular path. At every point of time, they are equidistant from the nucleus, so they will move with uniform speed, probably. But 3D is moving like this. This is the nucleus. Again, it's a matter of feeling. When the electron is coming in this path, as it comes closer to the nucleus, the velocity will be higher. Almost it will move fast like this. And as it comes at the further end, the speed will become lower, again very fast, lower, again very fast, lower, again very fast. Please keep that into mind. They will not be moving with the uniform speed around the nucleus. At the end, they will be moving slowly. As they come near the nucleus, they move fast. Again, they move slowly, but as they come near the nucleus, they move fast. Suppose you see the electron, suppose, where is it most likely to be found? Obviously here. Here the electrons are more likely to find because the speed here is less. And here, because they are moving with a very, very high speed, so the probability of being found is very, very low. Low probability. High probability is here because they are moving slowly, very fast, slowly, very fast, slowly, very fast. So the probability of them finding here is higher, which speed is lower. So that answers this question, that although for some time they will be here also, but they will be in this region for a very small time. Large time they will spend in this region or this region. So probability of their being found, if they are in 3D, is higher. Where do the electrons go? They prefer to go so that they have a higher probability of being found near the nucleus. So 4S have higher probability as compared to 3D. Am I clear? So one more term you will come across, electron density being higher, electron cloud will very high. If not already come, you will come across. This is the meaning of electron density higher or lower. Please understand, when we say high electron density, we do not always mean there are more electrons in that region. Ultimately, we are talking about only 1 or 2 electrons here. So electron density everywhere is same. When we talk about electron density, we talk about, suppose we take a photograph, maybe from electron microscope. How will the photograph look like? Mind my words carefully. The photograph will look like denser here and lighter here. Simply because when you take the photograph of a fast moving body, where the speed is fast, it almost is aligned. And where the speed is low, that area becomes slightly more dark. I mean, if you take my photograph here, I will occupy this much space. But if I'm moving with a very high velocity and with my photograph, it will just look like a line. Are you getting my point? Please think about it. So we say that the electron density of 3D will be higher in these places, electron density will be lower. So high electron density in case of atomic structure means the electron has higher probability of being found there. So purely theoretical discussion also tells you why electrons prefer 4s, because if they are in 4s, they have higher probability of spending time near the nucleus. In case of 3D, most of the time they will be here, only for a few times they will be there. So they have got low probability of found near the nucleus. So they will not prefer to go to 3D, prefer to go to 4s. Okay. Totally different concept. And then another different concept after we have done Hund's rule of multiplicity. We know exactly how the electrons will be configured. Looking at the electronic configuration, sometimes it's easier to find out which atom will be more stable, which is same as less reactive, and which atom will be more reactive, that is less stable, that we can find from the atomic structure. And how it is called stability of the atom. So we say stability of the atom also is a function of, or it depends on the electronic configuration. So how does electronic configuration decide the stability of the atom? The law for that is that atom will be more stable whose orbitals are stable, subshells are stable. And when do they become stable? When the subshells are fully filled. They are very, very stable. If they are half filled, then also are respectively more stable as compared to other possibilities. So it says fully filled is more stable than half filled. Half filled is more stable than other possibilities. So again we come back to the example of 3D, which we have been taking off and on again. 3D can contain 10 electrons. So atomic number 21, it was 3D1. Atomic number 22 was 3D2. Atomic number 23 was 3. 24 was this. 25, which is manganese, is this. This is manganese. This is chromium. Iron is 26. Now what I am saying, this is manganese, 25, chromium, 24 was 1, 2, 3, 4, and iron, 26 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. What we are saying, if you compare 3D, this is neither fully filled nor half filled, so it comes under other possibility. This is neither fully filled nor half filled, so both of them come under other possibilities. But this is half filled. Half filled is more stable than other. So manganese will be least reactive because it is more stable as compared to either chromium or iron. This is what we are talking about. And in the same series 3D, if we come to zinc, zinc is atomic number 30. Zinc atomic number 30, so it will be 3D10. Now zinc is fully filled, so zinc will be still more stable as compared to manganese. And chromium and iron, actually we cannot compare them. Both of them we can say loosely they will be reactive. They will be not very stable. But zinc will be more stable than manganese, and manganese will be more stable than, or both of them will be more stable than chromium or iron. In real life also, you know, iron is very reactive. Chromium also is reactive. Zinc does not react very easily. Under normal conditions, zinc prefers to be more stable. Zinc can be more reactive with others, but with regards to iron, zinc is less reactive. Or I take one more interesting example. Iron, all of us know, was 26, which was 3D6. 4s2. Am I clear? Atomic number of iron is 26. So it is 36 4s2. Why I am writing it right now here? Actually, it should have been 4s2 36. You know why I am writing. Suppose I remove 2 electrons from iron. I just discussed loss or gain of electrons when that is to be considered. The subshell of the higher principal quantum number decides the issue. Because loss 4s will decide the issue. So 3d6 will be Fe++ or Fe++ will be 3d6. What is Fe++ if you lose 3 electrons? So loss of 2 electrons will be 3d6. Loss of 3 will be 3d5. d5 is half filled. d6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Which will be more stable? Obviously this, because this is half filled. So we saw that iron is more reactive among the others, but of iron, ferric salts are very stable. They are very, comparatively they are less reactive. They are very stable. Ferric salts are very stable. Why? Because the configuration of ferric is half filled. So knowing about electronic configuration is important because just by knowing the configuration, we can compare many properties of the atoms. And for comparison, the law is fully filled is more stable than half filled, and these two are more stable than other possibilities. So just to end the class, if you recall class 9th and 10th, you have done the occurrence of iron in nature. Ores, and you must have found most of the ores of iron in nature are in the ferric form, ferric hydroxide, ferric oxide, hematite, limonite. In limonite and iron and hematite, iron is in the +3 form. +3 form. Not many ores of iron are found in nature in the ferrous form. Why? In nature, when they are found, they must be staying there for millions of years. So even if God made them ferrous, they became ferric because ferrous is not stable, ferric is stable. So finally, we are getting the ores in the ferric form. This is only one example, just to make you feel better that we can know the comparative stabilities just by knowing the configuration. Fully filled is more stable than half filled, and together they are more stable with the other possibilities. Thank you.